Yeah. Torah Or, Pashas Terumah, page 158. There's only one mimer in Torah Or from Terumah. Okay, the pasuk says, "Mi'itencha ka'ochli." This, like the Alter Rebbe says, the Medrash says, this refers to the request of the Yidden at the time of Golus. They say to Hashem, if you would only be like a brother to me. Mi'itencha ka'ochli, if you'll only be a brother.
You tell that Hashem this?
Yeah, Hashem says this. No, it's the Jews asking Hashem. V'koshes k'neses Yisrael HaKadosh Baruch Hu Zman HaGolus. Shebizman Beis HaMikdash Hayu Kayom, in the time of the Beis HaMikdash Nikra Yisrael Achim Lamokim. The time of the Beis HaMikdash, when godliness was revealed, the Jews were called Hashem's brothers. Like it says, Leman Achai V'Reyoi. Hashem says, for my brothers, my friends. And then it says, Leman Beis Hashem Elokeinu. For the Beis HaKeinu, meaning the Beis HaMikdash. So the Medrash says, Claim Nikra Achim. Where are the Jews called the brothers of Hashem? Bizman Beis HaMikdash Kayim, in the time of the Beis HaMikdash. Therefore, Mevakesh Yesachshav, therefore in the time of Golus, the Yidden are asking, Mi'itencha ka'achli, can we be brothers again? You know, if you'd only be like a brother again. So it says, what is it like, what does all this mean? So it says, this is how it gets to this week's Parsha. Because Terumah speaks about the Odin with the Kalim. It says, in the Cherubim, as they say in English, the Cherubim, that were in the time of the Beis HaMikdash, it says, the Cherubim looked one to each other, right? They were facing each other. And it says in the Pasuk, you should make two Cherubim. One on one side, one on the other side. The inyan Cherubim. What is the inyan of the Cherubim? So it says, Apim Mashamed Azah, the Gemara says, Pnei Keruv, Pnei Adam. The Keruv was the face of a person, a big face and a little face, meaning the face of an adult, the face of a kid.
Who made that?
What? Moshe Rabbeinu made it. Saul made it. I mean, but his guidance.
All silver.
Gold. No, the Arden, the Cherubim were made out of gold, but the actual Arden was 3 boxes. There was an outer box of gold, inner box of wood, and then an outer box of gold again. And then they, in this, so now that place on the top is partially wood, so they covered it with gold.
Well, didn't we say gold is a Gevurah because it's red?
So what? It's pretty good. It's good Gevurah. What do we ask Hashem? Give us a lot of gold? It's a lot of Gevurah. Okay. So then, to understand this, it says in the Pasuk, when Yechezkel HaNavi saw the throne of Hashem, he says, on the throne of Hashem, the Mus Kamara Adam. There's a vision of a person, right? There's a short, an aryeh, a nesher. There's an image of a person. So the Alter Rebbe says, Hashem doesn't have any images of a person, of a form. How can we say that on the throne of Hashem is Pnei Adam? Hashem doesn't, God forbid, look like a person. So he says, so basically we need to understand this whole concept of the Cherubim, big face, little face. We're asking Hashem, by the Cherubim was one facing the brother. By Golus, we're asking Hashem, the Knesset is asking Hashem, why can't we be brothers again like we were in the time of the Beis HaMikdash? The inyan is, Shatera Nikra Adam. Torah is called Adam. Why is Torah called Adam? Like it says, Zay Satera Adam. At the beginning of Parshas Chukas, when the pasuk says Zay about the Paraduma, it says Zay Chukas Satera Adam Ki Yamuz Ba'ayim. So if you read it, Zay Chukas Satera Adam, that the Torah is called Adam. Uksiv Zay Satera Sa Adam. Pirushu, what does it mean? What does it mean that Torah is called Adam? Ki Hine Amer Azal Kol HaTorah Kula Shmeitzir Shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu. All the whole Torah, the Medrash says, is the names of Hashem. Over Zayir Nikra as a sphere is Raza Dishma de Kedisha. And Zayir says the 10 spheres, the 10 attributes of Hashem, is the secret of the holy names. Now what does that mean? Like the name of a person that's called Avram or Yaakov. Let's say a guy's name is Avram or Yaakov. The name is not relevant to the essence. You are who you are by yourself. If you have a name or you don't have a name. What is the essence of the person? The seichel umid the shalei. His intellect and emotions. Even if a guy is by himself, he's a person. The whole purpose of a name, like we learned many times, is to be identified by somebody else, with somebody else, about somebody else. If a person's all by himself, he doesn't need to have a name. It's only his external level. That through a name, a guy's going to turn and face you. If you call them the name, they're going to turn to face you. Same thing is by Hashem. The names of Hashem, the midas, the midas of Hashem is a super limitation of Hashem coming down into a limited form of seichel and midas. The essence of Hashem, elevated and exalted, from the level of Chachma. Hashem is completely removed from any sphere. This avos as a sphere is called Raza Dishmaya Kadisha. Therefore, what did the Zohar say? He just quoted that the 10 spheres are called the name of Hashem. Now, why are they called the name of Hashem? Because just like a name has nothing to do with the essence of the person, the 10 spheres have nothing to do with the essence of Hashem. The 10 spheres are only a slight revelation. Has nothing to do with the essence of Hashem. So he's saying like this: the name of Hashem represents a level of godliness that's the external level of godliness that has nothing to do with the essence. The pasuk says Havaya b'chochma yosad eretz. Okay, what does it mean? Shagili ha'arazu. This revelation, which is b'chinas Shem Havaya, which is the name of Yud Kei Vav Kei, like it says Ani Havayu Shmi, is only the level of chochma. Vaydei ha-chochma nimshach ein tzal baruch hu b'chol ha-tesfirat, like it says in Tanya Perek Lamed Hey in the Haggadah. Meaning like this, Alter Rebbe says that where does Hashem reveal himself first? In the level of chochma. Why does Hashem reveal himself first in the level of chochma? Because chochma is bittul, koyach ma. Shehu levadehu ve'ein zu loseid v'uzehu madreges ha-chochma, the Alter Rebbe says there. Meaning, chochma is bittul, therefore what is the vessel in the 10 spheres for Elokus to reveal itself? In the level of chochma. Then, once it's already in chochma, then it comes down until the other 9 spheres.
Understanding.
Chochma is the understanding, but not like bina of real understanding, because then I understand. This is the level of bittul. It's like a spark, the initial.
You cannot come to the hura, it has to go on chochma.
It has to go from chochma, and then bina, and then das, and then chesed. Yeah, it comes down in the all 9 spheres through the level of chochma. Therefore, chochma is called Adam. Like we say, Adam das. The Nikra Adam Arishin, and that level of Chochma Vatzilis is called Adam Harishin. Why? Nikra Adam Kadma. Because what does Bereshis mean? Bereshis means b'chochmasa, Targum says. Right? So, which means that Adam Arishin or Adam Kadma, Kireshis Chochma Ksiv, Chochma is Reshis. When Hashem created the world with the 10 utterances, it refers to the 10 spheres. So, Bereshis represents the level of Chochma. Chochma includes within it all the other 9 levels. First, Hashem reveals himself into the level of Chochma, and then from Chochma, Hashem reveals himself into the other 9 levels.
Is that the level of Adam Kadmon?
No, here is speaking about Chochma Vatzilus. Adam Kadmon is the first level after the Tzimtzum.
Very high.
What?
Very high.
Yeah, very lofty. Okay, Kihul al derech Moshe. His pash, the same thing we find in the Neshama, the Alter Rebbe explains. Derech Moshe, his pash, is Vamshachas V'chayis ben Neshama beguf. The revelation, the manifestation of the Neshama in the body. In the Gilui Klolas HaChayis. Comes in the Neshama. Where does it come? It comes into Seich B'meichon Sheberosh. Again, what is the vessel in the person for the Gilui, in the body of the Gilui of the Neshama? The level of Chachma, because Chachma is too bittul. Then from the Seichel, it comes into each limb, based on the makeup or the wisdom, because Alter Rebbe in Perek Nun Aleph says the same thing, that the Neshama's Gilui of the Neshama, the revelation of the Neshama in the body, it starts in the level of Chochma of the Nefesh. Just like Elokus, godliness reveals itself first in Chochma, and then from Chochma it goes to all the other spheres. The same thing is with the Neshama in the body. So therefore, Nimtza Meichen Em Klolos HaChayis Shel Adam. Therefore, what's the general, like the brain is the nerve center of the body. Chochma is the nerve center of all the spheres. Yeah. Kach al derech Moshe l'mayla. So it is l'mayla. Shegilui Klolos Or Me'ein Sof. The infinite level of Elokus, Nimshach Mislabish b'Chochma is revealed first in Chochma. By day ha-Chochma Nimshach Mislabish Or b'Chol HaTesah Sfiras. Okay? Therefore, just keep the parentheses. V'alkein Oraisa de Chochma Nafka. Therefore, Torah that comes from Chochma is called Adam. In other words, Alter Rebbe says like this. It says Zeis Torah Adam. So therefore, Torah is called Adam. So the Alter Rebbe explains why is Torah called Adam? Because just like by Adam, Adam is primarily the level of Chochma. And from Chochma it goes to the other levels. So the first revelation of Elokus in the world is Chochma, Bereshis, which is called Torah. And then from there it goes into the rest of the world. So therefore Adam and Torah have one thing in common, that the Gilui of the Neshama in the body, the revelation of Elokus in the world, is into the level of Chochma. V'ramach mitzvah says, therefore, if a Torah is called Adam, right, so then like this, how is a person composed of? 248 limbs, 365 veins, or sinews, whatever you want to call them. Is Ramach Ivar Mishasala Shesagidim. The God of Talmud Shemei de Mais, and the uniqueness of learning is it brings to action so like this, Torah is the seichel, right? Therefore, just like the brain is the initial level that it goes to all the limbs, from Torah, from the learning of Torah, it comes to all 248 positive mitzvahs and 365 negative mitzvahs. That's what it says, Torah is connected to Hashem. In a bechinas Adam Zeh is called Adam HaGodol. There's a pasuk also says Adam HaGodol Ba'anokam, I think. But there's an Adam HaGodol, which is the big face. Ki chochmei lo bechinas ein sof. Or like it says, Usfunos, it Hashem's understanding, ein cheker yedei v'adeya. Okay, so he says like this. The Cherubim are faces of a person. The big face, little face. Adam Gadol, Adam Katan. He says, what's the connection to Cherubim to the level of Adam? Because Adam is Chachma, the beginning that comes into the face, right into the head, and then from the head it goes to all the other limbs. So therefore there's a big Adam and a small Adam. As he's going to explain now, there's a level of Torah L'mayla, before Torah comes into limitation of Chachma, that's called big Adam. Then you have the way Torah comes into the world, that's called the small Adam. And that's all on the Cherubim, which is on top of the Adam, which is the Inyan of Torah.
So when HaKadosh Baruch Hu spoke to Moshe Rabbeinu, it was a level of
Biben Shnei HaKeruvim.
level of Chochmah that came between.
I believe he's going to talk about that later.
It was the Cherubim was an old man and a young boy.
It doesn't say old man and young. Big face, little face. You don't have to be old to have a big face.
But it looks like one of them was.
What?
Little face is higher than the...
No, the big face is higher than the little face.
Yeah, but it looked like one of them. I heard one of them like older and one was younger.
The older people say it was older and younger, and the young people say both younger. Okay, so now he says, we'll start the next paragraph. That's Torah, the way Torah is above. Then it's Adam HaGadol. In order for this level of Chachma to come into Torah of Bria, which is the Torah Shalafanenu, because Torah is in Bria, in order to come from the Atzilis into Bria, there has to be a parcel, there has to be a curtain, there has to be a tzimtzum. That's what Chazal say, tzimtzum shchinasei, Hashem compressed. Tzimtzum, his shchina between the two poles of the Aron. That reflects the level of Torah coming down in a limited form. You have Torah infinite form, L'mayla, and then when Torah comes into world, i.e. in the world of Bria, then Torah comes in a limited form.
So what is the difference between that and what Moshe Rabbeinu learned by Har Sinai? This is Simpson and that one not? Or less Simpson?
But Moshe Rabbeinu learned on Har Sinai was also a tzimtzum. In fact, it's a Vayiten al Moshe Chalaisei. The Medrash says that Moshe Rabbeinu, Hashem, you can have a great teacher and a great student, but to learn the entire Torah in 40 days is pretty tough. So Moshe Rabbeinu was forgetting it. Vayiten al Moshe gave him a matana. That's why Shabbos morning we say Yismach Moshe b'matnas chelkei. It refers to Matan Torah. That's why if you notice, in Yismachu v'malchuscha, right, we say Friday. So Friday night we say Zeich l'maaseh bereishis. Musaf we say Zeich l'maaseh bereishis. Mincha we say Zeich l'maaseh bereishis. And in Shachris we say Chemdas Yom Maaseh Karasa. Why don't we say Zeich l'maaseh bereishis? Because Shachris of Shabbos morning is dealing with Matan Torah, not Maaseh Bereishis. Therefore, the Shmoneh Esrei is Yismach Moshe b'matnas chelkei. It talks about the gift of Torah. Because Shabbos is the level of Torah. Torah was given on Shabbos. Shabbos creation is to do with Shabbos. The whole world is elevated. So Shabbos morning, the emphasis, that's what it says. Shabbos morning, the emphasis is on Matan Torah, not Zeich Maaseh Bereishis.
Rabbi, when Moshe talked,